party dungeon. This is Dungeon Party. As always, I'm your DM, Blake Peebles, and here's your cast. Woo! Hi. We're back for some more D&D. We hope you like the other ones, because there's more coming. A shout out to our
3 Patreon patrons, Elliot, Nick, and Big Money.
Yeah, that's it, as far as I have announcements, I think. Check out our social media, and tell your friends. Anybody have anything to say?
I always thought pink ginger was better than yellow ginger, and it is.
So no minds have been changed today. Alright, well then, without further ado, we'll jump in. Let's get some thematic music.
Did your voice just crack?
I won't confirm or deny. Thematic music. Cool, so last time our intrepid adventurers met, all had the same dream of a woman being brutally sacrificed by a minotaur in a graveyard. Well, upon awakening from this dream, they were hired to find and bring to justice some grave robbers who had been striking the small village, I should say, that they were in for a while. Along the way, they met the Minotaur from their dreams. They met a young girl, a doctor, and a fortune teller named Madame Vera, who told them to just follow the truth, I guess, is kind of what she said.
One of these NPCs has a lot more description than the other ones. I wonder if I wonder what that
Do you want me to describe in depth every NPC, Peter?
It'll be on the wiki.
Yeah, it'll be on the wiki.
Can you tell me more about that old man?
Old man McGillicuddy is a one-legged man they met. That is true. I'm gonna do my vocal warm-ups this time, so I'm stumbling over my words. They found out that grave robbers were in fact the people who were bodyguarding the halfling who had hired them to catch the grave robbers. They made quick work of the 3 of them and went back to town, but not before being chased by a giant demonic bat-like creature back to the graveyard of the town where they were protected by some sort of holy ancient magic. They looked around for more answers, eventually making their way up to the swamp where they met the woman of their dreams, who turned out to be a necromancer by the name of Henrietta. When we last left them, Henrietta had picked up a large coffin from the swamp and started heading off in the direction of the grave diggers' makeshift camp. And that's exactly where we left off. So she has just begun walking off into the swamp. I believe it was like mid-afternoon at this point, but it's fairly dark in the swamp. What do y'all want to do?
Are we just sitting here in the swamp?
Yeah, you're just in the swamp. There's zombies like right behind you eating like a bear's corpse. They're just sort of feasting on it. In front of you is the woman of your dreams walking away after having slung a coffin over her shoulder.
And we told her to go away, right?
Well, she said, I'm going to go get more corpses, and went. She's headed to the place where you recently made 3 corpses.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I guess 2.5 corpses.
Yeah.
One of them's a little charred.
Crispy.
Yeah. Nathaniel's looking at the walking away necromancer, and then looking at the zombies, and he's like, I don't know which is the priority right now.
Do we follow her? Have we shifted the dream?
We could all... I gotta find his voice again.
Just like vape a couple.
Well, we could follow her and make sure no villagers get her, because we also have to get those barrels back.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Remember? It isn't... Yeah.
Onward!
Or... So we follow her. We're like, oh, look at all this money we happen to find, and get out.
Okay, I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that last one. You've been doing very well so far.
Is he Southern now? I don't know why! I love it. Keep them southern.
This is why we need the first episode to come out so I can remember the voice.
Okay, this is where we're at right now, so we're gonna keep it.
I love it.
So I'm gonna ignore that.
Sorry.
I'm gonna ignore those things.
Yeah.
It's gonna weigh on me, but you know, a lot of things are weighing on me right now, so why not add to it? Let's go. She starts tromping. Is that a word?
Tropping.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cool, you're following?
Yeah.
And the rest of you?
Alright, cool, I'm following
I'm
you.
gonna tromp. I'm gonna tromp along.
You catch up fairly easily. She isn't walking very fast on account of the coffin that's a little larger than her that she has slung over her shoulder. But when she notices that you're coming, she goes, "Oh, are you coming?"
Yes.
Oh, okay. Are any of you squeamish?
I feel like we've all seen a lot.
Because
So.
this process isn't exactly the most pleasant, people have told me. So, just if you don't like it, just close your eyes and cover your ears. It's loud.
Cool.
What?
Why are we following her again?
I don't know.
Alright.
I think it's because we have no idea what else to do.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Why is it loud?
This is like some of the bones have to reset and the flesh sort of changes a little bit. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm squeamish, yes.
yeah, you might want to like cover your eyes and stuff when we get there.
I
You
figured.
get
What's in
used
the-
to it.
What's in the coffin? Wait, did we see what's
No.
in the coffin?
No.
Okay.
Not. When she sort of swings it open, it's empty, but there are like runes and symbols and words carved into it. It's just where I keep my spells. And she shoulders it closed.
You don't use like a book, and I pull out my spell book.
No, use this.
Oh.
It was the coffin I was supposed to be buried in. And she keeps walking.
What?
Alright,
This chick is dark.
drops that one on us and walks away.
That raises more questions.
I mean, if you're curious, I have answers.
Were you supposed to die at one point?
Sort of.
That's not an answer.
Well, my father was a mortician, and he prepared corpses for burial. And I worked under him. He had one for each member of the family. This one was mine. I mean, better to be safe than sorry. If you just end up in the ground, then somebody's going to turn you into a zombie, so.
Would you like a hand?
No, I'm okay.
Pretty big.
Most wizards don't like it if you take the object that contains their spells.
Yeah.
Sort of thing we do.
Well, okay. Sure. I guess we're gonna keep up with that.
It's not very heavy. It's empty and it's just wood. So
What kind of wood?
I don't know.
I just like wood.
Do you know what kind of wood it is?
Knock on it.
Make a nature check.
Can we define that we all suck at like survival?
You do, yeah.
I know one.
Oh yeah.
You got a 1? It's wood.
Yeah, I know.
What is it? Just in case another friend of mine asks if I ever need one.
Ash.
Ash. Okay.
It's ash, everyone.
If you want to make a deception check, you can.
Unless anyone wants to make an insight check.
They don't really have trees in the Underdark, so.
Okay.
What do they have instead?
Rocks,
Fungi, I assume.
fungi.
Holes in the ceiling, apparently.
Lichens.
Like, you can see
Lichen.
the sun, see the time of day.
Your whole thing is that you don't want to see the sun.
I assume some insects.
Yes.
Like, you guys are having this conversation. He's just talking to her. Her face is not changing expression as she just continues to
What
walk.
race is this woman?
Human.
Okay.
She's very pale, though.
Hmm.
White hair, very, very pale.
The more I think about this, I'm wondering if she's possessed.
She keeps walking. Eventually, you do come to the edge of the swamp. And you see, like, day ahead of you. She hesitates for a minute before stepping out into the sunlight. Just sort of, and then takes a step out and doesn't catch on fire. Not a vampire. And continues to walk.
Why the hesitation?
Well, the big bat thing doesn't come in the swamp, so
Why not?
I don't know.
Wait, you've seen the big bat thing?
Yeah, it chased me in here.
Oh.
Remember?
Yeah, we already discussed that like
That's
5 minutes ago.
it's been 5 minutes.
It's been 5 minutes. I don't know why you suddenly forgot that. Wow.
I don't know. It seems like not a lot of.
If only I could have watched the last episode.
Working on it.
It doesn't go in the graveyard either.
Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that?
Right, doesn't go to town.
She doesn't care.
I haven't been in the graveyard either. So
Wait. Oh, right.
we talked about it like 5 minutes.
We got low in.
That's bad for a wizard. What brings you guys to here? I mean, I don't mean like here, but I mean like this area. You're clearly not from here, so.
What gives you that impression?
Because you said you're from the Underdark.
Yeah, like 5 minutes ago.
Alright. Here specifically?
Sure. Like southern Nildor. I'm trying to get to
Oh.
the city of Remelos personally.
Oh, well, so am I.
Oh. Well, then you'll probably know that it's completely under control by one of the vampire partisan
No,
forces.
I probably did not know that.
Oh.
Let's just assume I don't know anything about what's been going on above ground.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's two different forces of vampires they're fighting. I hope you know that at this point.
Briefly.
And one of the forces, one of the sides of the conflict, one of their generals is taken up residency in Remelos. I need to get there because of the library they have there.
What are you searching for in the library?
Information. What else do you get in a library? She says this with no, like, there's no irony in her voice though. Like,
Finch. Well,
why do you need to go
do you
there?
think it would be hard? No, it's hard to explain. Do you think it'd be difficult for us to get into the city?
I mean, it's the vampire headquarters right now, so unless you're friends with a lot of vampires, then.
Are you?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
See, my plan was to amass a legion of zombies that I could use as a barricade to, like, sort of force my way in there, grab the information I need, and get out. But I only have like 6 now because of you guys, so I'm gonna have to get a lot
We
more.
didn't kill that many.
I didn't have that many to begin with.
We're hardly at fault here.
I guess that's
You guys
fair.
don't want to see a vampire.
No, you do not.
Go outside at night and you'll probably see one.
I've heard they're very dangerous.
Is the big winged monster thing a vampire?
What do you know about that?
As far as you know.
I don't know anything about it, but I'm sure you could learn about it in the library of Remelos if you wanted to help me get there.
I am a scholarly researcher or something.
Sage?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sage.
That sounds
No,
very-
researcher.
Yeah, sure.
Features researcher, yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure there's information there. It doesn't seem particularly undead, though it looks it.
It's not
Why do you
undead.
want to go to Remelos? Remelos?
Me?
No, I was asking the DM.
Yeah.
Is that how it's
I never really thought about it. I just.
Did you just look at a map and close your eyes?
Throw a dart.
You know, in a way, yes. I'm drawn to Remelos.
Why?
I don't know.
Or are you just
I'm hoping to figure it out in Remelos, actually.
Or are you just trying to not be somewhere else?
Actually, I have a question for the group here. Has anyone heard of, strange word, hortifact?
You can all
No,
make
Finn.
history checks if you want.
Okay. Anyone besides Finn, have you heard of hortifact?
I'm still doing a history check.
Hortifact. Hortifact.
14, suck it.
21.
Fuck.
20. Not natural.
Hold on, I have to find something to. I'm not gonna use this dice. It's gonna be too loud.
You can use my thing.
Do you
Oh,
want a
great.
little
Yeah.
tray?
There's trays.
There's extra
trays
trays
galore.
here.
Extra
Oh.
trays. Don't use my
You didn't even
tray.
pick your favorite color.
We're well prepared here on the set of Dungeon
I
Party.
like this green one.
Yeah.
Actually.
Our budget went entirely into dice.
They're all in my room. I can't go to bed.
What was the check again?
History. I'll call it a history.
Yeah, that's gonna be a 9.
9. Cool. So we had a 20 and a 20 and 21?
Yeah.
You got a 14. Sounds like a weed thing, frankly.
Okay, Finn, tell me.
Sounds like a pipe weed thing.
Why do you know about that?
I thought you said a weeb thing.
You think it sounds like a weed thing.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Burn logins.
Hey, I might be young, but like I know a lot of things.
Michael and Nate and Thuvius, calling you by your character names. You vaguely heard of this? Like, you've heard the term before, you don't really know where. It's certainly something historic and that isn't really commonly used, something sort of weird. But you've heard of it. That's something you've heard of.
I've heard of it. That's all. I don't remember.
You've seen mention of...
I thought for a minute you were gonna be like, you've seen them, but you
No.
don't know.
You've seen the word hortifact in your studies, referenced. It's like one of those things that, like, when you're reading and you see a word you don't know and you're like, I'll look that up. But, like, you kind of know what it is, so you don't. So you're not super sure what it is. You know it's something ancient and something, like, fairly scientific. And it's something that is created. There are hortifacts. It's not like a specific thing, it's a category.
Oh, it's a category.
Yeah.
It's a
I'm familiar with hortifacts to some extent.
what do you know?
It's a category of things, you know. And many hortifacts have been made throughout history.
So they're created. That's why I'm going to Remelas to learn more about them.
Okay.
Creation of
But
hortifacts.
again, like
Finn, what's your purpose?
In life?
I wasn't meaning any insult. Really asking.
Why are we alive? What is our purpose?
Why am I here in this swamp?
Why are we here?
Following this woman.
well,
How did I get here?
I don't know. Well, like I don't know if I want to tell you guys yet though.
I mean, that's fair.
Unbelievable.
What?
What?
I
That's
mean-
fair?
Yeah.
How long ago did you guys meet each other?
Hey, we've known each other
Yesterday?
for 2 whole days.
That's not a whole lot of time to divulge your
Yeah,
life
but I mean,
secrets.
Listen,
we're working
listen.
together.
Yeah, you can't listen to some lady we met in a swamp.
Thanks.
Thanks.
To create a working relationship with someone, you have to get to know them and their goals and
Yeah.
whatnot.
That is
You're
true.
not getting my backstory dump yet. Out of character.
Yeah.
Guys,
Mhm.
she stopped and she's pointing ahead, and there's just like a figure standing in the field, looking around, vaguely lost. An elven-looking individual who has a cart or just a big bag.
I might have spell slots.
Let's give me a card.
A cart, just with a cart. If you want to come on in here,
Hey!
our first guest star.
Yeah, it
Is this
was.
the first thing we
It
did
was
today?
early.
Let's go to the swamp.
No, you walked around town and tried to figure out if you could find this
Yeah.
lady.
Didn't we go to the? We went to the.
It's like afternoon
We
now.
went to the fortune teller and all her stuff
I
was too
still have
expensive.
my spell slots. I'm good.
You haven't like done much.
I have
But
2
No.
spell slots.
if you want to put that in front of you, you're more than welcome to.
I can't exactly pull from the lid.
Yeah, I know. Well, welcome our first guest star. If you guys watched the other campaign, you might recognize our very own Kira Burke. Elena's here.
Can you plug me in?
Yeah.
Plug me in.
Wake me up. So, if you would like to describe yourself.
Yeah, so I've got some long black hair. It's very beachy waves, very effortless, but like beautiful. A dewy glow because of course I do. And second to none is my beautiful, flowy, bohemian style dress. That's all you need to know. I have a cart.
How old are you?
I'm
Elf.
timeless.
She's an elf. She
Good,
looks
more
like
elves.
a typical adult elf.
And
Oh, you might have to switch places for elf corner.
You might have to come over here.
No. One friend.
She's standing in the middle of this open field with her cart, and she doesn't look like she knows where to go.
At least it's not the beast.
Excuse me, ma'am. Are you lost?
Oh my goodness, it is so nice of you to ask me that. Yes, I am lost. How did you know?
You see a very
You must be
wizardly looking
so
high elf.
Smart.
Wizardly looking. Oh, well. I am the great Thuvius Amaz.
Oh my god, I
Doodle
think
bow.
I heard of you. Wait, like, were you one of those guys that, Oh wait, no, that was totally someone else.
The Amaz family is well known.
You probably would know.
The Amaz, that's not a lie.
Yeah,
None
it's.
of them are mine.
Those are all mine. The Amaz family, you all have.
Yeah, I totally.
You have.
Yeah.
You've heard.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Actually, maybe none of you have heard of them.
Oh, come on.
What about in Worthnack?
Worthnack?
Worthnack.
Worthnack.
I know where I'm from.
History. You two history. You two probably
Alright.
just wouldn't know. Yeah.
Do I know?
Fine.
History.
7.
6.
Nope.
Hey, it's,
Hard time telling if he's pointing to me or you.
it's a
Yeah, me
6.
too.
Nope. Nobody here knows about your famous mom.
One of the most powerful people in the world.
Hey,
Yeah.
we don't know that.
Wild.
Should have used my grog dice.
Should have. You know, for all knowledge checks,
I used
definitely use a
Percy.
grog dice. Yeah, so in front of you, you see a purple tiefling child, a drow with luxurious white hair, very wizardly looking high elf, a bird person, and like an older gentleman in splint mail. Quietly eating miso soup.
Okay, so...
Just got off work.
Like, hi everyone. Thank
Hey.
you. Hey, thank you for responding. That's such positive affirmation. I love it.
Oh, and a very pale human woman with white hair carrying a coffin.
Oh my gosh, are you guys okay?
Oh, I'm fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Frankly, I've been better.
I knew it. I have something for you.
I
I have
suggest
a
we
crystal.
leave.
It's purple. It'll give you healing energies.
Finn, it's purple.
Can I like arcana check that?
Yeah, sure.
Can I,
Are you
like,
assuming because I'm purple, I like purple? Yeah, I
What?
totally like purple.
Yes.
14?
14. It doesn't. From a distance, it doesn't seem terribly magical. It doesn't give off any sort of aura.
You know, they have a lot of those underground.
Oh my god, that's where I got it from. Everyone is so smart.
I would never blow the cover of someone else pretending to be allergic.
Are you lost?
Frankly.
Yes!
I already asked.
was lost, and then I found you guys, and I was having so much fun, and I got a little distracted.
Can you tell me where you want to go?
Okay, so like, is there like a center of?
I'm looking for
population?
one-word answers here.
She's looking for the center of town. Yeah, it's and I point.
Wait, you have a cart? I see there.
I do have.
Do you have any horses for that cart? Or is it just how
This is a one-woman operation.
We need a cart to haul that treasure back to town.
Mm-hmm.
Could we
She needs to go to town.
borrow, or you need to go to town? We need to use your cart to get all the loot back to town. Would you mind coming with us? Well, we could even pay to borrow your cart, perhaps. I'm sorry. Side conversation. We really need this cart.
Yeah, but she needs to go to town anyway.
Okay.
So why would we pay her to do what she was gonna do anyway?
Because she could help us move the barrels.
right
We
thing to
do
do.
need to move the barrels.
Are you strong, miss?
I'm
Bricks.
strong with both heart and mind.
She's strong of both.
Okay.
heart and
What
mind.
about
Can I just
what
say
about
my
the
piece?
All right.
Can I just?
You may just.
I don't like her.
Is the cart
Are we
mostly
far enough
empty?
away?
Like, could it fit?
She can hear every goddamn. You are 5 feet apart from each other at this point.
It's for the sake of comedy. How empty is the cart? Like, could we fit all the barrels in it?
There's lots of crystals in there. There's some like vials, some nice fabric. It's all very beautiful, and like there's glitter on like lots of it.
It's all small stuff though, so like
Yeah.
you could theoretically fit
Yeah.
the barrels in there.
Trinkets.
So, like, it's not gonna be a bother. To, like,
It's
put
gonna be a
all of
bother.
She seems so nice, though.
I really am.
She
Don't worry
really
about
is.
it. Are you worried? Do you feel worried often?
I don't.
That's so. How did you achieve that in your life? Share with the group.
Start walking.
As you turn to start walking, you notice that Henrietta is already gone. She's like, she started walking right
No,
while
he's
you're
like-
pedaling.
Wait up! And starts running.
Feel free to come along with us.
But I love making new friends. Thank you so much. What are your guys' names? I like to be on a first name basis.
I'm Finn.
Finn.
I'm-
Oh,
Sorry, Elril.
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 Elril. I'm gonna remember that by thinking about Elril. El Trill. I knew this girl in 4th grade. She
I
had
took
a
off
really nice
running.
So Elril. Okay, Finn. I got just because Finn.
Yeah.
Who could forget Finn? You guys, right?
I'm purple blushing.
He's like, what? You're like 14?
Thuvius, as before.
Vesuvius, like Vesuvius, like.
Which is not a real word.
Hey, she could have
Like Pluvius, like Manuvius. Oh, because you're maneuverable. I got it. Amazing. Done.
The other 2 already have left. The other 3 have already left.
I assume we're having this conversation as we're walking.
Yeah, they're running though.
And I have a cart. It's
Yeah.
not a fast-moving parade.
I can help you bring the. We can help bring.
Finn, she mentioned before, it's a one-woman operation.
Right,
Okay.
we'd be rude
So
to help.
it
But
would be
one-woman operation doesn't ever mean there's not room for others to join.
You know, I've never
Oh,
run
that
in
was-
my life, but it's quite enticing right now.
Never run.
Finn?
Yeah.
You're a strong young man.
Yeah, I am.
Help the lady out.
Yeah.
Cool. So you catch up to Henrietta fairly quickly. Is she coming too?
Unfortunately.
Great.
And then I turn to my girlfriend. Why are you the only sane one?
Cool. So, probably like 40 minutes later, you've equalized distance at this point. You're all more or less in one big group. You see in the distance the makeshift bandit camp. It's up there. It's some distance away. You can see it. There is still a small bit of smoke coming up from where you assume the corpse was charred previously. And you can see even in the distance that the 2 other bodies are just laying outside.
Well, I don't really know how this works, but have fun.
It's going to take a little while because I can only do it 1 body at a time. How many were there?
3.
So we're going to be here for at least 3 minutes.
It's quite a while.
Well, we can load the cart and
Burnt one and
Are you going to watch this process?
Oh, I want to watch.
Okay, I will be standing over there. Please fetch me when it is done.
You have any words you can give.
Okay, but
Burnt
now that
one.
we're all together, I missed your guys' names. What's your name? Thank you so much for spending time with me. I feel so honored.
So we have 3. Do you need me to help carry them somewhere?
I can just do it where they are. Let's just get up closer.
Okay. Okay, I think Team A, which is us 3, will do whatever is gonna happen, and Team B.
But you're the squeamish. No, wait, you're the squeamish
No,
one.
I
I'm
wanna
the
watch.
squeamish one. I'm not watching.
No, I want to watch. I'm watch. I wanna
Team B
Yeah.
will help with the barrels.
watch. No, I want to watch the. Please.
I am rather curious.
You tell this to
Come
my
on.
7 strength school.
Team A, Team B. Okay? That's what's gonna happen. Okay?
Okay. I guess we're lifting things.
Elf Corner, famed for their strength.
Okay, you tell me everything.
I will. I'll make a mental note.
But don't worry, all things in life come around at least twice.
Fabulous.
Wait.
I should hope not.
So you start getting closer. Team A, make a perception check.
Nat 20.
Someone's got eyeballs.
Starting off the session.
18.
18. You both hear the sounds of heavy footsteps coming from inside the camp. and you manage to see, like, through one of the beams of the pillars, there is an individual walks by, not a huge individual, but in a black cloak. You get the sense that there's some sort of protrusion coming from the face.
Wait, we already had the barrels though.
The barrels are inside, so you're following these
Oh,
guys,
okay.
and this happens. What are you saying?
Alright.
I forgot. There's someone in there. One with a banana. One more time.
Oh, the spider.
One.
The
Yeah,
spider.
I can't for the day.
Looks
I'm
like
gonna send-
you.
I'm gonna send in the spider.
Beak.
You never recast the spider. You didn't buy materials with which to do that.
I thought we did. We took an hour.
Oh, you totally fucking did.
That was yesterday, also.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Yeah,
yesterday.
that was yesterday.
Cool. You send in the spider.
He was miming Beak. I figured it out.
I'm gonna send in the spider. What do we see? As my eyes roll back in my head.
Oh no, I wonder if there's gonna be
I wonder if there's gonna be combat.
some sort of conflict.
I wonder if.
Can I get something heavy?
Here's this dice bag for you.
Damn, I can get it.
Here's the weight of all my failures in past lives.
Yikes, dude. Fucking yikes, dude.
I can see. I can see it.
Excuse me.
What?
The sound of him slurping right now.
Did you fucking...
I've got the lift bar.
That's heavyweight nutrition right there. I had a mini for myself and I brought
took
it
it.
out. Okay.
Don't worry, you're good. Shit, I didn't get him a mini. Damn.
Do you want me to go get one?
No, it's fine. I'll just make
I
him...
would love to. It would be my honor to assist you.
Stop. I'm uncomfortable.
When we say that we short rested.
Did you short rest? No?
I just remember we have a warlock. We need to short rest a lot.
Yeah, I have cantrips.
Okay, let's figure this shit out. You're coming from this side this time.
Love that side.
Michael,
dress.
I'm gonna agree with you. Pink ginger, better than
See?
ginger.
It's fresher,
I've
right?
never had the pink ginger.
This is my first time, Peter.
I think it tastes fresher, a little less processed.
But why?
I don't know.
I've also never seen a pink ginger root. Like, is it fake?
I don't know.
It's just dyed pink.
Did they just food coloring it?
Could.
No, don't record yet.
Sometimes color is the only reason you
I thought
can
it was
taste taste.
pickles.
Skittles don't have different flavors.
The difference.
But we have a real tripod
It's
now.
a real like conspiracy theorist lives
No,
right
it's not a
And
conspiracy.
pink.
What if my purple is
It's a step up from,
There's no difference between sour
Put her
cream
here.
and green tea.
Does that
That's the
look good?
conspiracy theory.
That's no.
It's true. There's no
no.
difference.
Can we see
Yes,
the Can we see the ground?
This is the hill I'll die on. Cool.
We're gonna do that then.
Is it pickled? Is that right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hopefully.
Oh, it's.
Does it work? Does it look good? We're gonna try that for now. We can come up with
If you
something.
Yeah.
Wanna know what
You
does
know,
look
let me see
good?
your face even.
Pink ginger.
You get real low.
Wanna
Cool.
know what does look good?
What? Cool. So we are spiders coming up over here. we'll call them.
Oh no.
So what you see is the corpses, whatever. The barrels have been fairly heavily unloaded. Most of them are now empty, sort of over in this corner. Some of them these are barrels spilled over. It looks like the things doing the unloading are two very large amalgamations of flesh. Frankenstein would be a good term for these things.
It's
They're
actually
just
Frankenstein's monster.
Elena, you're a permanent cast member now. Winfield, you have to leave.
That's what I am.
They're just sort of hauling things unintelligently from here over to a small purple chest stood next to by a individual in a black cloak with a plague doctor's mask with fangs attached to either side of the nose.
Did they find the barrels that the two of us rolled up the hill?
The barrels are no longer on the hill.
Okay,
Yeah, those have
been recovered.
been recovered or just gone now.
Okay.
As your spider crests the thing and looks at this, however, the plague doctor looks up directly at the spider.
Spider's gonna crawl back. And I'm gonna snap out of it. They're like, two large creatures of some sort, and some hooded figure with a beak mask. Right. You might have seen the spider, but it's just a spider. You know.
Yeah.
I just start running.
Okay, then let's roll
Towards them
initiative.
or